Hey there. Hi. Oh, I can't hear you. I don't know if it's me. Oh,
How about that now?
oh, much better.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, it
I'm
was
glad it
me.
wasn't me.
It was me. Yes, it was me. Hey, Stacy.
Hey, how are y'all?
Oh, good. How about you?
Doing good.
Good. Thanks for joining.
No problem.
Yes, yes, yes. I am just clearing out some of my screens. I got so much up here. I really need to do a better job of isolating some of my
It's so
screens
hard.
because I get to going, and the next thing you know, I got this one open, this one open.
It's
Oh,
so confusing, especially when you have multiple screens everywhere. And
yeah,
yeah,
it's too much. And I'm like, I don't even remember having all of these open, but I was going through so much yesterday. It was just too much. So I'm like, no, I got to do something. Let me see. And I got this shift and this one. Hey, Tammy. Let's see. Okay, looks like it's okay. She said, hey, Chrissy. And Chrissy just saw it. So she's like, I'm so glad I saw this in time. I am too. So we usually wait around for a little bit
hmm
for everybody to join. And I am going to hey, it's so good to see you. Okay. But I had no idea. I knew you were very well adorned with awards. I didn't know you had six.
I saw you wrote that, and I'm not 100% sure it's six Tories.
I saw I counted on your thing. Or maybe you know what? I was counting what is on there. Maybe you just had the
Oh, then
pictures
it
of them.
is six Tories.
I
Oh,
counted the
okay.
six of them. I said
Okay.
one, two, yeah, six.
It's been a lot of years. I haven't submitted for a long time, but
Yeah, because I
yeah.
remember when even going to the conferences, we would be Googling your work and stuff like, oh, look at this. This is absolutely phenomenal. And I swear by your templates. I'm telling, I said, no, the best hands down, because even when my clients ask, I said, no, I am not that crafty. I invest in a trusted person who has made sure these templates are ATS compliant and everything. I just know how to edit them, for different colors. But no, I'm not that good. So I tell them because they always says, "Will this go through?" I bought it from the best. I always
So
tell
glad you
people,
like them.
like, no, I am not that crafty. I cannot do that.
They're coming up with that idea was a game changer for my business. I'm telling you, it like completely changed my business, and I got talked into selling them to other people, and
Yeah.
I've heard that over and over again. So
It is. Yeah,
yeah.
because I mean I don't use anything but your stuff. I refuse to
Mm.
use anything else. No. And then before you even had the business, you go to Etsy and all that kind of stuff, and I would try to do some stuff and they just always look funky. I'm like, I'm not good at this. The writing, yeah, but not the design. But when you did that, I'm like, oh, this is so wonderful. So yeah, it's been
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah,
good.
it's been a game changer for all of us who are aware of you
I
and who
right.
have
I need to
invested
I
in you.
need to get the word out.
Yeah,
So
right. And that's why I'm so glad that you're here because this is our Tuesday Lab. And what I've been doing all month long is bringing on TORI winners to give tips to
hmm
help some of our budding, especially our newer resume writers who are trying to elevate their skills, and even somebody like me who's been in the game for a long time. What can we do to make sure that they're ATS compliant and all that kind of stuff? And also to actually present your templates because they have been a game changer for my business, so I don't even have to think about that because people are always like, what about templates? Do I do this? No, eliminate that step, go right to Michelle and get hers, period. So that's that.
Well, good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. And I am trying to get to your website now so I can do a formal introduction. Hey, Cassandra. We got Kareem on here too. Hey, y'all.
Hey, Nicolette,
You in the car, girl? Where you at?
you on my way home.
Oh, oh yeah. Is this your weekend too?
Huh?
Is this your week in the office too?
So we do I go in every week. I did go in today. We
Wow.
do every Wednesday, but I
Oh,
went
every
in
Wednesday.
today
Yeah.
instead of tomorrow.
Some
Yeah.
departments do that. Yeah. We work for the same company, y'all. We work for State Farm. So, so that's, yeah. So this is my full weekend. Hence, I had my hair combed and I had on kind of like business clothes. Anyway, so usually it doesn't happen this way. So
Period.
yeah, so this is my full weekend, and I had to do a presentation on resume writing to the
Oh,
cross-functional development
the
group.
prairie.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I hear you, Kareem. What'd you say?
Hmm.
Kareem,
Okay,
you ain't on mute.
gotcha. It's all good, girl. English not mine. English not mine either.
I'm going to mute him. Okay. Hey, Sharice.
Right.
Okay, it's 6:05. I only give 5 minutes because I love to be respectful for everybody's time. It's 6:05 on the dot. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for yet another Tuesday Live. And we're doing it every single week this month because we're preparing for National Update Your Resume Month, which is next month. So, what better way than to learn from the best? The TORI winners that we've had on, we had Ashley on the first week, we had Sharice on last week, and now we have Michelle, and she's about to go out of town for like 2 weeks tomorrow. So I was so thankful that she was able to fit us in. Like, yes. So I'm so excited to be able to have her here. And it's to give you the skills and the insight and be able to ask Michelle also some questions about, resume writing and formatting and design, because she is, to me, the best in the business. I have not seen anybody else who do it as well as she. And she has, her templates are awesome. And she covers so many different industries, which is also very nice. And it's pretty cool. And I've even taken some of her templates, got one piece over here, another piece over here, and meshed it together to meet my client needs. So, I mean, this is so timely. And even today, someone, was that you, Stacy, put that in the chat asking for assistance for a executive resume? Wasn't that you?
That was me.
Yep, Stacey. And I said, you got to join us because she said distinctive resumes. I said, she's going to be our guest today. So make sure you join. She said, how timely. And it was definitely timely. So I'm so glad that you're on here. But just to give you a little bit of background, I'm going to read what's on her website. So her journey in the world of resumes began over 25 years ago. And since then, she's worked with well over 10,000 job hunters, crafting standout resumes that have transformed careers. Originally launched on the internet in 1996, her company, Distinctive Career Services, is widely recognized as one of the industry's longest standing resume writing companies and as an industry pioneer on the internet. They've grown and changed a lot over years, but one thing has remained constant: that their commitment to delivering unmatched expertise, quality, and commitment to clients. And when I think of clients, it's not just her resume clients, it's also us who are also her clients as well. She has professional membership. She's BBB, a Better Business Bureau accredited. She's part of the NRWA nationally. She's also certified in NRWA career. She's part of career thought leaders, career directors. She's also resume writer, a part of resume writer and career coaches, PARW, and has 6 TORI Awards. She forgot how many. I said, no, ma'am, I counted them. So anyway, so she has 6, and I am just so excited that she's going to present her knowledge today. And those of you all who are watching the replay, I'm so glad that you're going to get this information as well, because it's really going to help you, because my whole goal with our organization is really to take your skill level up a notch. We all can learn, and that's what this information is about. How do you take your resume writing skills to the next level? And here's another caveat: when you learn these additional skills, I always think about, once you're learning more things, how do you think about moving your price, maybe $5-10, because now you learn something new that will enhance you. So what are you trying to do? And you will notice in the next 90 plus days or what have you, I'm going to be really positioning the Society of Elite Resume Writers as the go-to place for new resume writers from 0 years to 5 who are looking to start, run, and grow their business. So you will see that more and more, because that's what I really want to get you all. Even if you're in business, you're a subcontractor, or you just, like writing resumes, and maybe you work for a university, take advantage of all of this learning to help yourself. And because it's not definitely free, because we do the Tuesday lives, so take advantage of any kind of free training. So now I'm off my soapbox. I'm going to give my time over to Michelle, and I just gave you access to share your screen, and I'm
Okay.
going to go on mute. And again, you could talk more about who you are, but I'm so grateful that you said yes. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks so much for inviting me. And let me share. You're probably just looking at my plain screen right now. So let me. Let's see. All right. Do you see a slide up there now? Okay. All right. Good. All right. Let me move things around here just so I can see what I'm doing. All right. So thank you. Thanks so much for having me. That was a great introduction. And I learned something because I didn't know. I hadn't counted six stories. So thank you. Um, yeah, like many of you, I am assuming like many of you, I started out in the resume business as a solo practitioner. But for me, that was close to 30 years ago now. And my business has really morphed and changed several times over the years. So I've been around for a while, a very long while. The first time I spoke on the topic of resume design was about 15 years ago. But the resume design and how it actually impacts the effectiveness of a resume has always been a topic that has fascinated me. 26 years ago, when I attended my very first industry conference, it was that PARW conference. I entered the resume contest. And unbelievably, I won first place. And I have looked and looked and looked for that resume. I can't find it, and I can't find the award either. But I do remember that it was first place for best resume, and they were talking about innovative design or innovative format at the time. And so, I was working with design even then. Now, by today's standards, I'm sure that whatever it was would be considered really old-fashioned, but at the time, it was cutting edge. Because I loved experimenting with page design and with techniques to make the resumes that I was writing easier to read and more eye-catching. So, for a little perspective, it wasn't really all that long ago that if you wanted to give your resume to someone, you had to have a typewritten copy, and then you had to have it photocopied, and then you had to mail or hard copy through postal mail, or maybe hand it to them or fax it to them. Resumes created digitally in a word processor were actually really pretty new when I was getting started in the business. It was considered cutting edge at the time, kind of innovative to do simple things that we would take for granted today, like making the fonts larger for headings, or selectively bolding or italicizing text, or putting those ruling lines in there. But even though it was new and trendy, in this world where everyone was used to looking at these boring typewritten resumes, these more attractive word processed resumes were catching on really, really fast. But it was for a variety of reasons, including the fact that resumes were still always printed and either mailed or handed off in person at that time. And printing in color was really expensive. Or to get them back into the computer because it was printed. So now we had to get it back into the computer, so you had to scan it. And these designs, these really elaborate designs, didn't scan very well. So it wasn't until 10-ish years ago about that color and more elaborate page designs really started to catch on. And I was thinking about that today. I think it was about 12 years ago that I started to really work with these with my clients. So fast forward to the present, and last year I kind of unofficially retired from writing myself, but I work with a team of outstanding resume writers, like some really fabulous resume writers that I subcontract work to. But resume writing, being a really good resume writer, it does not equal being a really good graphic designer. And that is just the truth. So in 2020, kind of when everybody else was binging on Netflix because of the pandemic, I sat down and I did something that I had planned to do for a really long time, but it was a little bit I'm comfortable about it. I didn't like the concept of a template, but I really wanted to create these design templates for my team because, I wanted to kind of up the game in my own business. I wanted to do something more modern and do it in an ATS-friendly way. But my team didn't necessarily have those design skills. So I created about a dozen templates for them. And I gave them to them and I asked them to start experimenting with them. And I'm not kidding. Within a couple of weeks, it had made such a tremendous difference in the quality of the work that we were putting out and in our own client satisfaction. I mean, I was just blown away by it. And so I started telling a few colleagues what I was doing. And again, I was cautious because I didn't love the idea of a template. I was thinking of, those horrible templates that you see for free in Microsoft Word or you get on the internet. Some of them are really awful. So I was cautious about it, but I started showing them to some colleagues and I got talked into selling them to other resume writers. And that kind of took off. Since then, I've created more than 150 template collections. And I'm doing more every month. I do at least 4 new ones every month. Now, I say template collections because when I create a resume, like one of these that you see on the screen, I'm also creating usually a matching bio, matching letterhead, matching resume addendums, matching the networking resumes, short networking resumes. So I'm creating all of these matching branded templates to go along with these. So now I have resume writers all over the world using my templates. I had somebody sign up last night for our insiders program from South Africa. We've got people in Australia and New Zealand and the UK and of course Canada and all over the US. And not only are they saving immense amounts of time, they give the writers using them a real competitive advantage. And because of that, they're able to charge more and also build their client bases more effectively. So what I want to do tonight is just to go through some of the biggest questions that I get about resume design, and also talk with you about some of the myths and kind of demystify those myths for you, because there are a lot of them. And then I'm hoping to save some time at the end so that you can ask whatever questions you have, and I can show you some things. But so first, these fundamentals. Why? Does design of your resume really matter? Why does it matter? Shouldn't the content be the only important element in an effective resume? And you'll see people arguing this on LinkedIn. There was a big argument about it a couple weeks ago, I understand. I've always said that a great resume begins with really great content, and I mean that. But let me ask you, when is the last time that you had an entire day that was completely free from digital distractions? No text messages, no emails, no social media, no aimless internet browsing. I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember the last time. Sometimes it can feel really impossible to concentrate deeply on anything for any significant length of time. And the truth is that researchers have found evidence that over the past couple of decades, people's attention spans, they're shrinking considerably. There's this researcher, her name is Gloria Mark, and she wrote a fascinating book, and I don't remember the name of it, but if you're interested, reach out to me and I'll get you the title. She began studying attention in 2004, and at that time, people could focus their attention on a task for 2.5 minutes without getting distracted. By 2012, that had decreased to 75 seconds. And over the past 5 years or so, it's decreased to about 47 seconds. So it's going down and down and down. So one of the major ways that this has really impacted us is reading. Like it or not, technology is really changing the way that readers consume information. And specifically, the impact has been this loss of the ability to deep read. You know, that's the type of reading where you just become absorbed in whatever it is that you're reading without distractions. So imagine what happens when a recruiter or a hiring manager is faced with this dense, wordy resume, just black text on a white page. It can be a lot to read and a lot to understand, overwhelming, and it's almost impossible for it to hold our sustained attention. So as professional resume writers, I think it's really important. We cannot ignore this. We have to be cognizant of this change. And there are writing techniques that we can use to write for the distracted reader. And if you've been talking to having TORI people, then I'm sure they've talked to you about some of them. I teach about that too. But I would argue that when it comes to capturing and holding a reader's attention in, you know, this distracted world, the ways in which you structure and format the words and the ways in which you use color in your design plays at least as large a role, if not more, than the words themselves. So, you know, think about it. No matter how compelling and persuasive the text of a resume is, it's not going to mean a darn thing if you don't get and keep the attention of your intended reader. So that's the first job. You have to get that attention. The fact is that humans are visually wired. Almost 50% of our brain is devoted to processing visual information. And graphics and other visuals help us with information overload. Our brains, they register graphics far faster than text. Graphics are also more memorable. And research has shown that while we remember on average 18% of what we read and 9% of what we hear, we remember 73% of what we see. So in using color in your visuals has an equally dramatic impact. And all of this research, by the way, comes from marketing. There hasn't been a lot of research on resumes, but I took all of this out of marketing research. So color will significantly increase somebody's willingness to read. It's also been shown to significantly increase comprehension. Color's been proven to increase readers' attention spans and also the time that they're willing to spend reading a document. Overall, text that's enhanced with color versus black and white, it's far more likely to be read then. And a study that I think is really interesting because it's direct relation to the way that we format resumes is that using color to highlight information on a page improves the ability of a reader to pick out key information faster, 39% faster than just using different font styles like bolding or italics. So yes, I do. I wholeheartedly believe in the importance of resume design. But keep in mind, it's not just design for the sake of design. It's not just about creating these like flashy resumes. There has to be reasons behind the design choices we make. And to me, our design should help to tell your client's story and to communicate information. And so in other words, they have to really have a purpose. So there's three purposes that I try to keep in mind as I'm designing these templates. And the first is that I want it to reinforce the client's brand. And color plays a big part in that. I want it to help the reader to make sense of and understand the data. And then I also want to use the design to illustrate key points and to focus the reader's attention where I want it to be. Okay. All right. So another big question. That takes care of why design, but another big question that I'm always getting is, of course, what about applicant tracking systems? There are still many resume writers who believe that you have to make a choice between creating an ATS compatible plain Jane resume for the computer or an eye-catching, more designed resume to capture the attention of a human reader. But I'm happy to say that there are more and more resume writers who are coming to understand that ATS compatibility and great design, they're not mutually exclusive. You don't have to make a choice. Yes, you do need to learn about ATS requirements, but there is this overlap in the middle And it's that middle around that I'm creating my templates to fulfill. So when it comes to ATS-friendly design, the font type and the font style that you use doesn't really matter at all. The font size doesn't matter. The font color doesn't matter. You can even use white text. You can use font, italics, you can use bolding, you can use underlines. Fancy bullets, if you use them, will often be converted into these kind of junk characters in the ATS, but that doesn't impact the ATS compatibility of the content in any way, and it doesn't impact the scoring. So that means you can use any bullet you want as well. So the graphics, right? You've probably heard you shouldn't use all sorts of graphics in an ATS-friendly resume. But the truth is that in modern ATS, graphics are invisible. It just kind of skips over them and goes straight to the text. So that means that you can use text boxes, graphic lines, special monograms, charts, graphs, word art, smart art, and any other visual element that you can think of. The ATS is simply going to skip over it. So if you do use a graphic element and that graphic element has text in it, you have to do it with a full understanding that the ATS will ignore that graphic. It will ignore the text that's in that graphic. So if you've used keywords in that graphic that are going to be important for the keyword scoring of the resume, you do need to be conscious and use those keywords again in the body of the resume. So that's the most important thing for you to remember. So these are a couple of templates, and the one here on the right, it uses a graphic up here in the top, and I don't know if you can see it, but I've left room here for whoever's using this template to put in some key strengths here in the graphic. So they could put in 4 key strengths related to this person's brand, if you would, or maybe, you know, special traits that they bring to the table or things like that. That would not be read by the ATS. So if those were keywords, you'd want to make sure to use it in the body of the resume. But this graphic is perfectly okay. It's just going to skip over it. These lines down here at the bottom on the footer, these are made of shapes. Those are graphics. They'll just be skipped. The rest of it is text with some shading behind it. All perfectly okay. This one on the left has a lot more graphics in it. This was a resume. This is a template for the travel and tourism industry, which is why you've got some vacation photos in here. So this is all the border. That's all graphics. It's all shapes made in Microsoft Word. This is shapes. These obviously are images put in shapes. The image down here. These are images, the quote marks, those are icons, and they'll just be skipped in the ATS. So again, what the ATS sees is just the name, the contact information, and the important text. Okay, so it skips all of that. So that's fine. Tables. Tables are the other big thing that I get asked about all the time. And if you've looked up anything about ATS compatibility or ATS standards, you've been told you shouldn't use tables. But the thing is that this is one of the most misunderstood topics. Can you use a table? Yes, you can. It just depends on how you use it. I really, really encourage you not to use any sort of complex table. Like this example on the left, I left in the marks here so you could see where the cells are on this. It's pretty complex, and it's very likely that when the ATS comes through here and reads it, it's going to get these cells jumbled up, because when the ATS is reading the text, it's going to jump from cell to cell to cell. Hopefully it's going to go left to right, but there's a very good possibility it could go all the way down here and then all the way over here, and everything's just going to get all jumbled up. But simple tables are fine. You know, like a table like this where you're using columns to show some skills, or something even like this down here on the bottom where this is a 2-cell table where we're doing the key strengths on the left and then the qualification summary on the right. that's perfectly fine as well. Many of my resume templates use tables, and so I've had this debate with people so many times, but I promise you I'm careful to use them in ways that won't cause problems in ATS. So for example, this template on the left, this is a table section, these areas of qualification, perfectly fine. This success highlights, you can't see it here, but this is actually 3 separate tables with a space between it. So we're very carefully making sure it's going to read whatever's here on the left and then on the right, and then go over here on the left and go on the right, left, right. Perfectly okay. And this is another example of tables used on the right here. The professional summary is set up in a table. Just the heading here is on the left, then the text is on the right, perfectly okay. And the key qualifications here, that's perfectly okay. Just be really, really careful with those the resumes that you see, resume templates that you see, where it's really set up in these complex tables. And unfortunately, that means that pretty much every one of the free templates that you see in Microsoft Word, the ones that are there when you install it, they're all set up in these tables that are not ATS friendly. So don't use those. Don't use them. All right. So, but ChatGPT disagrees with me. So why is that? And it's true. You know, if you ask ChatGPT for advice on how to create an ATS friendly resume, the information you're going to get back is going to be really conservative, and many of the points are going to disagree with what I'm telling you. And I've had lots of arguments back and forth with ChatGPT about this. But why is this? And the reason's really simple. ChatGPT is simply taking in and regurgitating all of that information that's available out on the internet. That's all out there in the public domain about ATS and resumes. And there's so much outdated advice out there. Technology changes really, really fast, right? And the standards for what is okay and what's not in an ATS changes really, really fast. So people will publish an article, and then next year that article is outdated. Well, they don't take it off the internet, it's still there. And it's still there, confusing job seekers and confusing resume writers and really confusing ChatGPT. So that's why ChatGPT is giving different information, but it just doesn't have all of the updated information yet. So I'm hoping the arguments I'm having with it will help it to update its information. So last but not least, this is another question that I'm asked all the time. Why distinctive resume templates are all designed for Microsoft Word. And the reasons I design in Microsoft Word are precisely the same reasons that I recommend that you only use Microsoft Word for creating resumes. Simply put, Microsoft Word, you know, that .docx format is considered the best resume file format. And it's due to its compatibility with ATS, its ease of use. It has powerful formatting options, and its preference among employers. One of the primary benefits of a Microsoft Word document, that file format, is its accessibility. You can open a Word document on almost any computer system, regardless of whether it's a PC or Mac. And this is true of both the newer version, the docx, and then also the older version, the .doc file formats. Now, while Word is the preferred standard resume format, it is a really good idea to save your resume in both Word and PDF formats. PDF formats resumes, they maintain consistent formatting across different devices. Sometimes if you're transferring a Microsoft Word document, there'll be slight changes on when you use it on a different computer, but the PDF will retain that for you. So your resume will look the same to anyone who opens it. But for other formats, you know, resumes created in Google Docs, and Canva's one that I see all the time lately. Illustrator, InDesign, all of these tools are not optimized for ATS. The platforms and the resume templates that are available for them use unique formatting that the ATS systems can't read. They're beautiful. I love Canva for all sorts of things. I use it for everything, but I see people using those Canva templates for resumes, and I feel so bad for them because I know they're not ATS friendly and they have no idea why they're not getting a call back. But that's why. They also cause issues when you try and start sharing that file electronically. I don't even think you can share a Canva file electronically, but the recipient might not even be able to open the file. And if they do manage to open it, even if they don't have the software, somehow the formatting is going to get all mangled. And saving it to a PDF is not going to be a foolproof solution either. Sometimes it will help, but the native formatting in those, like the Canva and Google Docs and Illustrator, they often cause behind the scenes formatting of the PDF to be created in odd ways. Many times what I've found is that it will cause the formatting to be set up in like this really complex table, which I just told you you can't use for ATS. So those cause ATS issues. So that's why I use Microsoft Word. That's why all my templates are for Microsoft Word, and that's why I recommend that you use it as well. All right, so I will turn things over for questions in a minute, but briefly, I do want to tell you a little bit about the templates. So, of course, there's a whole lot of benefits to you as a resume writer if you build your practice providing these graphically designed resumes. And this is going to be true whether you create your own designs or whether you use the distinctive resume templates. By using design in these cutting edge ways, you really have a competitive edge. You'd be one of the very few resume writers who have the know-how to create these graphically enhanced resumes. And so that means that you have an instant edge in the market. Clients, they're expecting more these days, and you're going to be one of the few who are really able to deliver it. It also helps you to build a really happy client base, people who refer their friends and family to you because they love what you're doing with the resume designs. You can charge more for your services because you're one of the very few who are doing this, who have the capability of doing this, of producing these resume designs. You can charge more for that, and your clients will also gladly pay a premium for it as well. And increase your per client sales. Now, this is something that we do a lot in my practice. I'm creating these template collections that I told you about. And the way that we price our products, we're bundling things together. We're bundling all of these documents together. And we're selling these bundled packages of services. And so that really increases my per client sales, which it really is a great for business. And then lately, I've been thinking a lot about AI. As you can tell, I was talking about ChatGPT and how it's going to impact our business. And at least in the short term, as the public begins to rely more on AI to help them with things like writing resumes, the resume design is still going to be one of the ways that people can stand out. So if you're able to help them with this resume design, which AI cannot do, then you have an edge. Again, you have an edge. You have something that you can sell. So if you choose to use distinctive resume templates, of course, on top of all of those other things, it saves you a ton of time. And not just time in creating the design, but also writing time. I know for me, when I had a blank screen in front of me, when I was starting a resume, it was horrible. It would take me, I'm the slowest writer in the world. And I just couldn't get anything out. And writers have told me the same thing. Starting with a pre-built template just kind of puts your mind in a different place, and it makes it so much faster to write a resume, so much faster than if you're just starting with a blank screen. So if you want to experiment with using templates and you think you want to check them out, you can try them one-off. So they are available for individual purchase and really very affordable, just $12 a piece. I do have a lot of repeat clients who just purchase individual templates if they need them. I'll see the same resume writer coming back and buying 1 or 2 templates every week for whatever their project is they're working on, and that works well for them. But I also have an insider program, and that is the most economical way to get access to the templates. And this, I have a very special offer for all of you, a great deal. So it's a membership program. Basically, the Insiders is a membership program. Every single month that you're a member, every 28 days, I give you 4 new template collections. So these are pre-scheduled 4 new template collections. And then on the first of the month, I send you a coupon so that you can go into my entire collection of templates. And if you don't have access to something that you want or need, you can go and get it for free. So you're basically getting 5 every month for as part of the program. And then as soon as you sign up, you also get access to 10 collections. So that's, the resume, the bio, the cover letter, all of the pieces come with it. Normally that's $47 a month, but for you guys, I've got a coupon code here on the screen. And I guess we'll make sure that you get it after. So with that coupon code, it will just be $37 a month, and that will be it's recurring. So as long as you remain a member, if you're still a member in 3 years, you'd still be paying just $37 a month. And then we also have an annual membership, which is an even better deal. Not only does it save you money, but you also get 44, hold on, I need to see exactly, 44 additional collections when you become an annual member. So you get 54 collections right off the bat to build your library of templates. That's $497 for the year, but for you guys, it'll be just $397 if you use this coupon code. And those coupons will be good until the end of this month, August 31st. Okay, so they do need to be used quickly. Okay, and that is what I have for you. So do you want does anybody have any questions? And I don't know, I have no idea how to unmute you all, so.
You all can go ahead and ask questions. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think design and color does make a difference on the document. You did mention that PDFs hold its format, right? Which is it's known, but a lot of our clients too, after writing the resume and handing it off, would need to make slight adjustments to the position title and perhaps a phone number that's updated. What are the measures that we take or that you take in these templates on the back end to ensure that the kerning, the tracking, the bullet points are retained if this client should open this Word document in an old version of Word or should open it in Google Docs because Google Docs also allow for us to save as a docx file and a Word document. So,
but it really mangles it.
This is how do we retain that transfer during the design?
There's no way to guarantee it, unfortunately. When we write a resume for clients, in the resume writing portion of the business, we give our clients all of the source files. So they have that Microsoft Word document so they can make changes, because I don't want them calling me just to make a 1-word change or a title change, right?
Yeah.
Because it's really important that they be customizing them. So I try to make the templates as easy as possible for people to change without messing it up. But there's no way to guarantee that they're not going to.
But the resume is the source file, though. What are the technical measures in that document? Is there any? during the design, right after the design, to retain the kerning, the tracking, and the bullet points on this document?
There's no way to do that. It's impossible. You could change anything. And I wouldn't want to sell a template if you couldn't customize it and change it. That's one of the things that I hated about other templates. They are so hard to customize, and our clients aren't cookie cutter clients, right? Their careers are unique. Their information is unique, and you need to be able to add another bullet, add a different section, change the name of a section if you want to, or move things around. And so when I create these templates, I'm trying my best to make them as easy as possible for people to customize to those individual clients. So when a client opens it up, yeah, they're sometimes they mess it up and sometimes they're good at it. It's been happening to me for 30 years. So
And quite recently, because I do write for Randstad as well, and I've designed templates myself because I do have a design background as well, production management. And sometimes the clients, when I do the handoff, I ensure that I embed the file so it retains the font.
well, you can do that for sure. I do not use fonts that would, I use only the fonts that are installed by default in Microsoft Word. I would never recommend using any fonts that were not installed by default. And the reason is because if I don't have that font on my computer and you haven't embedded them, when I open it up, it's going to be really messed up, right?
But
But if
like
you
to
embed
interject-
if you embed it, then it retains it, but it makes that file huge. Right? Is that what you?
it ends up being compressed when we embed the file. Also, it retains the kerning and the tracking of this file. So once we do headers and we do spacing of a document, all of that is retained as well in that file. I recently had this about 2 weeks ago with a client. Something as simple as Calibri, once she opened it up in Google Docs, she had it jumped up and down for her, right? And I took the file back, I embedded it, handed it off. She shared it with me in her Google file, and it was corrected. So having experienced this and having an intimate understanding of the back end, I am curious as to how are these bullet points and the coding is being transferred in these templates. So that's just a thought process there, having experienced how these things shift during the
Well,
transfer.
I would never, I advise our clients not to open them in Google Docs. It needs to be opened in Microsoft Word. There are free versions that they can download of Microsoft Word if they don't have it, or they can download a trial version or something like that. But I advise all of our job seekers, Microsoft Word is the business standard. And if you're job searching, then you really should be using it. So they're not made for Google Docs. They're not. They're made to be simple enough that all the resume writers can use them, that they can be customized to your individual clients. I don't want every resume out there to look exactly the same. It shouldn't, because all our clients are different. And if you're trying to create a branded resume that's representing your client and somebody else has exactly the same resume, it's not going to do very, that's not doing them any good service. So you can easily customize these, but that also means that the client could get it and open it and customize it too. But they do that anyway. So I don't worry about it. It just happens. Yeah.
Can I pop in for a second to kind of echo what Tammy's saying, but also still I want this to be productive for everybody. I love your templates. I love them. I'm obsessed with them. I have probably about 10 of them. But one of the things that I have been challenged with is document management. And so speaking to what Tammy was mentioning, when you open a Word document in Google Drive, you can still open the Word document and it retains most of the formatting, but not all of the formatting. Like some of the bullet points might look wonky, or the spacing, like what Tammy was saying, might be wonky. But also something else that I've noticed that I can't get an answer for, regardless of the template piece, is when I'm working on one of the templates in Word on my desktop, and then I upload it to OneDrive, Microsoft product,
Mhm.
it uploads a certain way. But then if I open it in the Microsoft Word version through the browser, whatever that's called, it jacks with the formatting.
Mhm.
Even though you're still in Word,
Mhm.
in Office, it just jacks with it. So these formatting problems continue to be problematic. And one of the things that I will advise my clients is, to not mess with the formatting until we're done, because they could do a lot of damage.
Mhm.
But specifically, the template that I'm thinking of that causes problems with me, and I love it, that's why it's frustrating, is that one that has the, it's the boxes. Oh, hold on, bear with me because I've got it right here. Because I love this template so
Okay.
much. Okay, resume templates. It's the,
Oh, wow, you're very organized.
I'm telling you, I use them all the time.
That's great.
The Folio Modern is great, but that's not the one that I have problems with. Phoenix.
Okay. Yep. That was
Phoenix.
one of the very first ones I created. Yep. Okay.
I love this,
Mhm.
but these boxes can be problematic.
Mhm.
And I've learned how to figure them out.
Mhm.
But when I'm giving the finished product to the client, they're not going to be able to figure it out most times. And I hate that, because then I feel like they're thinking, yeah, you gave me a cool template, but now you're requiring me to go back and pay you to update it every time,
Mhm. Well, I do. There's just a balance, right? So
Yeah.
okay, so you brought up a whole lot of issues there. So let me try and
Sorry.
brought a whole all right, so opening in Google Docs. Yeah, I know it allows you to open a Microsoft Word document. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
It just, yeah, don't do it. It messes it up. I really don't advise it, and advise your clients not to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that it's gonna mess it up. There's no it 9 times out of 10. Yes, you're right. There is, so we learned, and I did a lot of experimenting to figure out what the problem was. If you open it in the online version of Microsoft Word, it messes it up. It messes it up a lot. And there is a setting, and I will have to find it and email it. I'll have to find it and email it to you or something. But there's a setting in there that if you just change that one setting, 98% of those formatting problems goes away.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's embedding the file. It's
Yeah.
the embedding process towards the end of the design. But
Yeah. So yeah. And so I'll try to find that again and let you know, because we had a client who was doing that and we could not understand what she was talking about this horrible design she was saying, and we couldn't figure it out. So
Yeah.
I finally figured it out. And then, as far as the clients not being able to figure it out, well, I do, if you used any of the other templates out there, any of them, they would be absolutely impossible for them to make any changes to. I do my best to make them easy to customize, like I said. There are things that you will have to learn, like how to adjust the size of boxes and things like that. But it is what it is. So,
Yeah. That's okay. I mean, I love what you do. I'm
Yeah.
not knocking them at all. I just have certain situations that have come up, and if I can find a solution to them, I'll use them even more.
Yeah, yeah. So if I lock down the formatting too much, it makes them, people can't customize them. And the whole
Yeah.
point to this was to create templates that looked good, that were ATS friendly, and that could be easily customized. Because I did not want to stifle creativity at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I
Excellent
think as
job.
you're
Thank
saying,
you.
Michelle, with that tweak, because you give such good instructions on how to edit it, maybe add that to your instructions
Hmm.
once you find that.
The
Yeah,
embedding
yeah,
is
that's a good idea. That's a good
Mhm.
idea.
Yeah, because then they say troubleshooting, and then just put that in there.
Right.
I haven't had those issues. I always tell my people to open them up in Word and only use Word, even if they have Mac. I work from a Mac, different things like that. I said no, use Word, because again, like you, I tell the same thing. Businesses are built on Word. They're not built on Google Workplace or anything like that. They're not even using Mac stuff with the oh gosh, Mac stuff is terrible. Pages,
but
oh gosh.
Pages. Oh,
Yeah.
Pages. Yeah.
but
Oh,
we,
horrible.
but in an imperfect world, when we deal with clients coming from all income, varied incomes and stuff, on a fluke, they can't buy or pay for a subscription for Word. So we have to be flexible enough to allow them to open this in Google Doc to make one adjustment or one
Yeah.
switch if they might to send this document out. And that's what I have kind of catered for sometimes.
Yeah, that's good.
No,
And so
I
now,
understand that. That's a good point. That's a
yeah.
good point. My client base is primarily executives, so
Hmm.
it's nothing to tell them to go out and buy Microsoft Word, but
Hmm.
and they have it anyways, but you're right. You're right. But there are free versions of Microsoft Word that they can use. There is that free version. It's that online version which causes some issues. So I'll find that setting for you. But
Thank you.
and then you can also download a free trial, which I've had clients do before. Every now and then we'll work with students, the children of the executives that we work with or something, and I'll tell them to download the trial version, or and then it's only like $9 a month or something if they want to keep it. So
Mhm.
But yeah, but adding that little tweak troubleshooting, if you find
mhm.
that will help, and that'll be to what you're saying, Tammy. That'll solve that. Yep, I like that. That's excellent.
Hmm.
Any more questions? I see a lot of commentary in here too. Any
I
more
have a quick
questions,
question.
comments? Okay, go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so I have an IT executive, and his main problem has been like ageism, because he's basically been 35, 40 years, and the automatic denials, which is crazy. With the basic template he has, it's nothing fancy like you have. Is there any specific template that you may recommend to
Uh,
show his?
yeah, sure. So any of the professional and executives. So if you go on the website, and you look under the menu where you can purchase the templates, they're broken down into different categories. I just finished this the other day, so they're all broken down into categories, and one of the categories is technical and IT resumes. So you might look under there. Some of those might be appropriate for you. And then the any of the professional and executive ones, a lot of them are really flexible or versatile. It could be used with almost any client. They're very easy if the color is off. If the color is off for your client, if it's off for their industry, if it's off for whatever reason, off for their personality, it's very, very easy to change the color scheme. Does everyone know how to do that? Or I
Mhm.
wonder if I should, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You want to just show something real quick?
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead. You
I'll
still
share
have
my
that.
screen again real
Yeah.
quick and show you that. Um, okay. And bring this down here. All right, so this is that template that I was showing you earlier with those graphics. And say you didn't like this blue color, all you have to do is come up to Design, Colors, and you can kind of scroll through and change the color with just one click or two clicks. So it's very, very easy to customize in that way.
Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of times I see people who are using, I've seen more and more of my resume templates out there when I'm looking at resumes, which is really exciting. But a lot of times people aren't taking the time to change the color, and color can make a big difference. especially with your client's branding. You know, you wouldn't want to say use red colors for an accountant. You'd probably want to use green colors, or, you know, something that's fitting with their profession or with their brand, or you know, maybe somebody's all about orange, you know. So very.
Michelle,
Mhm.
is there like dedicated, not dedicated, but colors most commonly used for the different industries? Like financial services is mostly green,
Yeah,
HR is mostly blue, or what?
there is, since I'm sharing my screen, if you go to my blog and you kind of scroll back maybe to last year, I did an article on color in resumes, and in that I did a lot about color psychology in different professions and what would be suitable. So there's
that's
an
awesome.
infographic there that you can.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
Writing that
That's a
in
game
notes.
changer right there. Yeah, great.
And here are the,
2023.
I said I broke them down into
Mhm.
categories. So there's IT down here at the bottom. Oh, and while I'm here, if you're brand new, if you've never purchased a template and you just want to try one, you can get a 25% off just by signing up here and use it for your first purchase. So
That membership offer that you mentioned,
mhm.
I feel like I'm already doing a monthly membership with you. Do you have a couple memberships?
I have just the insiders membership. So are you, who's speaking? Is that Christy talking?
Yeah, it's Christy. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll look and see if you're in my membership roles if you'd like. I'll do it after.
Yeah, I feel like I am. Anyway, yeah.
Well, I do send out emails, so you can probably get my emails with new what's come out new. So you probably do get those. But I'll look and see if you're
Yeah.
in our membership.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Mhm.
But any last questions before I let you all go and let Michelle go so she can get finished packing and ready for her trip? Any last questions? All right. Well, I so appreciate you, Michelle. Thank you so much for this. I'll make sure I have this available on our YouTube channel and let the put a link in for the group so they can go back and watch the replay, so they can take advantage of the deals. And I'll make sure that I put the links in there so they can easily click in as well. Yep. So thank you so much for taking your time out of
Absolutely.
your evening, getting ready to go on a 2-week vacation. I'm so happy. I'm like, I just got back from Thailand, and that jet lag was horrible, but I can't wait to go again. So enjoy wherever you're going. Enjoy your
Thanks so
time.
much. Thanks so
Yes.
much. Okay,
Thank
thanks
you,
for having me.
Michelle.
Yeah, thanks for
And
having
thank
me.
you,
Okay.
SCRWC.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.